Hey y'all, it's Cody from Chapman's Farm and Greenhouses, coming to you from my middle greenhouse today. As you can see, my son and I moved our bougainvilleas over here yesterday. I wanted to move them over to get them a little more light. My ferns, my cane baskets, my pink ladies, everything is kind of growing. He's kind of shading these out, and these are sun-loving plants, so I needed to move them. I will move these again around the 1st of March or so. I think today's February 3rd. I will move these again about 1st of March to another house to spread them out, give them room to grow. Also, I will be planting bedding plants and having them in here. So I kind of do this in stages right now. Plan on building another greenhouse soon where I can just put my bougainvilleas and they'll be there and nothing's going to shade them out. But until that day, I have to do a little moving. But today we're going to repot a few of these baskets that I had left over last year. I had about 25 or 30 left over, and some of them didn't look good or they had gotten too wet. A couple, two, three different reasons that I didn't sell them, but we're gonna repot those plants today, and I'll show you what they look like compared to the ones that I have planted in August. Now, when I get these, they're about 4 to 6 inches tall, and they have a root ball a little bigger than a golf ball on them. What I'll do is I'll put them in a 6-inch pot. I'll let them get some root growth to them, and I'll do that around the 1st of June. And then in August, I will put them in hanging baskets and let them start expanding since they've got some root structure. So I'm going to kind of show you the differences in my last year's pots and this year's pots, so to speak, and we can go over that now. So these are the new pots, quote unquote. They're the ones I started in June, and then I bumped them up to these hanging baskets in August. As you can see, they look good. The soil looks good around them. There's some of them I need to clean up a little bit. I've got a little frost burn on some of them where the condensation in the greenhouse has dripped when it's been cold. But I need to get a little leaf litter out of them. But for the most part, the soil looks good in them. They're taking off. They've got a lot of new growth, and I expect these to be absolutely gorgeous. They look really good. We've had some sunshine this winter, so they've really done good. Now, these bougainvilleas have been trimmed 3 times already, and I won't trim them again unless I get like a really weird leader or something on them. But I like to let them flow, and they will kind of flow downward and cascade and be beautiful and full of blooms here pretty shortly. So, but like I said, I'm moving them over here to get some more sun. With all that said, these are some of the pots that I had left over last year. Now, these pots were planted in 24, in August of 24. I've not added any soil to them. I did break up the soil a little bit in them when I transferred them to my consolidated after the end of the season last spring. But as you can see, they're pretty sparse looking. Like this one in particular, you see a lot of intervernal yellowing of the leaves. And you see some that have little to no leaves on them. These are pretty well locked up in this soil. This soil is probably high in salts. These are very heavy feeding plants. I give them a lot of fertilizer. So there's several things that can go wrong with bougainvilleas. They are an aggravating plant to grow. But like I said, I had 25, 30 baskets left last year. You can see this one in particular, and you can see some of this muck that's kind of on top that's kind of going here. I want to get that out. It's preventing all the nutrients from going down into this plant and kind of locking it up. Now, some of these, I've got 3 plants in a pot. Some of these I will be able to split those plants apart again. Some of them I won't. If the root structure has grown together, I will not bust them apart. I will just take the soil around the edges, massage the roots a little bit, and add new soil to the pot. If they do come apart, I will tear them apart. If they come apart on their own, I will tear them apart and massage the roots that's left on the root ball, and then add a whole complete pot full of soil. So do it a little different on each one. Each one kind of has a little different requirement. And these will be big and pretty as just like the new ones, and actually will probably show out a little more since they're a little more mature plants. And then all of a sudden they get this new pore space, this new root space, and they will just go boom all at once. But let's repot a couple of these. All right, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get this leaf litter out because I don't want it on my potting table with any kind of funky disease it may have on it. These are pretty clean as far as any kind of fungus or anything. I keep fungicide to them, but I do have some burn spots again on these leaves where the cold condensation has dripped on these. Probably the last couple of weeks, it's been in single digits for quite a bit. And you're going to get that with any plant if you've got condensation dripping, and with the heat running and it cold outside, there's just no way around it this time of year. And you can clean some stuff up like these bougainvilleas, but like ferns, I normally let them go because they're just going to grow in real thick and you'll never even see the burn fronds or anything on them. But I've got that, so I've got to take my wires loose to get this out. I'm not going to take all 4 loose because, well, I'm kind of lazy. And it is aggravating to get all of them tied back evenly after you take them loose. So we're just going to bend those back out of the way. Try not to tear up any of the foliage that you've got. So there's that. I'm going to put my hand here, turn this pot upside down, and dump it in my hand. I'm going to do that over my wheelbarrow there. And that way I'm not getting any of this funky soil into my new soil. Move you a little closer here. All right, you remember to take your your tray insert off the bottom of the roots. Put it back in your pot. Now I'm just going to massage this kind of like you would rub a dog's head. Now these are going to come apart completely. They've not grown together. And this plant is still alive. It's got green on it. It's just without leaves. So there you can see my 6-inch pot that I had started these in to give them some root growth. And for whatever reason, this one just kind of stunted. Probably got too wet last spring, and it's just kind of stayed in that shape. I'm just going to massage that a little bit, kind of like you would rub a dog's head. Nothing major, but you can see it's got some roots to it. Set that to the side and go ahead and do these others. I definitely want to get that green muck off the top of it if these were to stay together, and I'll do another pot here for you that I know is going to stay together. But again, you can see my 6-inch pot that I started those in. I just want to get that muck and crap off the top of them and give them some room to take off because like I said, they're just stunted up. All right, so let's put these back in a pot. Move you back over here one more time. I'm gonna give them a little base soil just so that I don't plant them too deep, and I want to give them something to go toward. I don't want them to put them right on the bottom of the pot. You get a look at them, and people say, how do you put stuff in a hanging basket? I generally try to look at it like Mickey Mouse, the 3 circles, and make a Mickey Mouse head. I don't know if you can see what I'm talking about, but I just kind of look at it like Mickey Mouse. So I've got the 3 back in. I've got them put in there kind of tight because I want it to look like one plant. I don't want it to look like 3 plants. And you can adjust which way the limbs are facing and stuff like that. If you wanted, say, this one to point out, you can turn it around if you want. We might just do that. And that way when it grows, it's going to it's not rocket science, and these plants are going to fill in, and after this new soil, they're really going to explode. Normally, bougainvilleas, I start selling them when we open. I normally beg people to bring them in the house that first week of April or so, first couple of weeks of April, because these plants do not like cold weather. They like to be above 60. If they're in a cool north wind or something like that, they will shuck their leaves, all their blooms. They will kind of go down on you, and you'll have to resurrect them. Bougainvilleas like hot weather. They like real hot weather, and they just don't like cold. But we'll move most of these, if not all of them, and I normally do sell out. But we'll move most of these, if not all of them, by Mother's Day. And then a couple weeks later, I'll be planting next year's. So I give it a few wraps on the side, like my little potting technique to get the soil to settle on them. Try to put the wires back in the same hole they come out of, because I didn't straighten these out or anything, so I want to just kind of bend them back in the same spot. That way I don't get the pot out of balance. I don't know if you've ever seen a hanging basket hanging sideways, but they will do it if you get them kind of out of balance from what their original pot was. I like metal wires. A lot of people use plastic snap-ons, and that's fine, but to me, these metal wires are going to last longer, and they're not going to break on you. There's nothing worse than a hanging basket when the daggum plastic hook breaks off. But that's pretty much it planting that one. Let's do another. Now this one's probably going to hold together pretty well. Let me go ahead and get it out of the pot and I'll show you. Alright, gonna try you a little different view this time. So I'm gonna turn that dude over and get this out over my wheelbarrow. You can see that that liner on the bottom of this. We need to take that off. Put it back in the pot. And this one's gonna hold together pretty good. And you can see the root structures and stuff in this one. It's not going to come apart like that last one did. Now we got some weeds and stuff too that's been dropped in by birds and wind. We're just going to massage it. Like I said, about like you rub a dog's head. It's not anything, not any kind of rocket science or anything like that. And this one didn't really have much muck on the top of it. And as you can see, this is 2 plants in this particular one. I must have lost one back last spring. We're just going to massage it out. Nothing big, and it's going to stay together. Alright, let's put this in the pot. Now we're just going to drop it in, and as you can see, it sets almost perfectly. I did take a little bit off the bottom of it, but it sits in there pretty well, so I didn't add any soil to begin with. I'm going to try to work the soil around the outside and push it in with my fingers. I'm not going to pack it. I'm just going to push it in with my fingers. So kind of load it up first. Get it kind of stacked toward the top of the pot there. And then I'm going to just take my hand like this and just kind of push that soil in around those roots toward the bottom of the pot. If you don't do this, when you kind of bounce the pot, the soil will work up under the plant and push it up high. This way it kind of holds it in place, and you're also pushing that soil down around the roots. Now I'll give her a couple of wraps, kind of settle what I've done, push again, settle what I've done. And again, I'm not packing this in. You don't want to pack anything in a pot. you want those roots to be able to travel through the soil, and if it's compacted, you're not gonna get that. And I'm kind of doing the same thing, just kind of massaging it in with my fingers. It's not rocket science, it's just repotting the pot. Alright, so as I wrap the sides of it, some of the soil is getting on top. So there's not really any need for me to put soil on top. And so you can see it's kind of filling itself in. That little wrap is what I call, wrapping upon my chamber door. That little wrap, that little jiggle, helps to settle the soil in. And you can also give it a bounce or two. Sorry if the camera bounced. Give it a bounce or two, and that's going to settle it even more. And I'm almost going to fill this pot completely up, because it is going to settle toward the bottom as I water it. The pot and soil is going to settle down. This one doesn't have too many bad leaves or anything on it. There's a few that you can see there where it's been dripped on, been cold. We've had some ice and snow and very cold weather the last couple of weeks, but yeah, I mean, that's basically repotting a bougainvillea from last year. You folks that keep your bougainvilleas, and there's folks that keep them, there's folks that try to keep them. They're a very persnickety plant to keep beautiful. They're just not, they're not ready for our environment here in Tennessee. It's just the winters are cool for them, and some people have sunrooms and that sort of thing. They can keep them, and I know of some folks that'll cut them back and put them under their crawl space at the end of the season, when the fall gets around. But yeah, that's a repotted bougainvillea, and that's that plant's 2 years old. It's gonna blow up with this new soil. The roots are gonna be able to push forward, and this dude right here will be magnificent in about a month and a half. So, but thanks for watching. I'm gonna give you one more shot of my boogies, and let you check those out. I call them boogies. That's our pet name for our bougainvilleas. So, but I'll kind of give you a shot of them and let you see what we've got in here. I think I've got 266 of them this time. Looking to get into a wholesale market on these, so if you know anybody local that's interested in buying these wholesale, I would like to talk to them and possibly grow them for them probably next year. I usually sell 250, 260 of them, but let me give you a shot of these, and we'll let you go. And again, these are the ones that I have started for this year. Let me back you out. There we go. And these will be, I'm about 6'3". When I take these out for folks that come by and buy them, they'll be dragging the ground behind me. And I'll do some updates as we get into spring and show you guys what they look like finished out. Just a little plant nerd wisdom. Bougainvilleas are like a poinsettia. Find my finger here. The leaves, the blooms, are actually right there. That is the actual bloom. These pink leaves here are not the bloom. They are what's called a bract. They're more like a poinsettia than like I said, the piston and stamen and stuff right there, they'll turn a real pretty white color when they open on up. But that's your actual bloom. But these pink leaves are called a bract. They're like a poinsettia. So if you like this sort of content, please subscribe to our page, Chapman's Farm and Greenhouses. You can also check us out on Facebook, Instagram. We're also on most social media sites. I know my wife has just started the TikTok page for us as well. But we'll be posting tips and updates, and also just showing you what we have. Um, I plan to do um, some around the farm videos and things like that. We do a little bit of everything here, from hay to cows to we grow corn, vegetables, pumpkins. Do a lot of different things here. So um, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Leave me a message, post a comment, tell me what you think, share with your friends. We appreciate you watching, and this is Chapman's Farm and Greenhouses. We're in Pulaski, Tennessee. Hope you have a great day, and God bless.